One thought about Greenwood Village's very public snub of state law. Greenwood Village's declaration that it will protect its police officers from the consequences of the statewide police reform bill sends a very clear message, both to police officers and to the public. First, the officers. Imagine if your boss told you that they would defend you even if you knowingly broke the law and or hurt somebody. Imagine a lot of people would say, thanks for the support, but I don't want to work for somebody who operates that way. And I believe that most police officers do want to act ethically. They don't want to work for a boss that gives a wink, wink, nod, nod to knowingly unlawful behavior. Now let's look at the message that Greenwood Village is sending to the rest of us, to Colorado citizens. The message is clear. If you want the full protection of Colorado's police reform bill, don't live in Greenwood Village, don't work in Greenwood Village, don't shop in Greenwood Village, and if you choose to drive through Greenwood Village, you do so at your own risk.